Okay, go.
It's doing that weird in betweeny thing.
And
All
you're
right, we're live. Hold on. Music.
Punch it, Chewy.
Oh, we got the full.
What song did you pick?
She did the full version.
Oh,
We got the full version.
is this like your lead up to Wu Tang's Killer Bees?
Oh man, you should do the. You should do the screen. Can you share the screen?
No. What song
You
is
should
this?
definitely share the screen. Hold on.
Oh, it's like Ghostbusters. This lead up is long.
My version is not this long. And now, hailing from the 757, where beer and real estate collide in an intergalactic planetary epic, amazing display. This is Opportunity Investor.
Digging the music. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good. I like that.
She
song.
shut me down a little quick. We'll work on that for next time, but it's okay.
DJ
All right.
shut you down, Ashley.
What's up, guys? We are here at our first ever event at Smart Mouth Brewery, Norfolk. And they've got a new room since I haven't been here in like 10 years, but so this is probably not a new room, but
It's the
this is
warehouse.
awesome. It's a huge space,
Huge
which
warehouse.
we've got to work on for next time. Filling it up with a bunch of peoples.
Yeah.
And
This is how
it's
it
pretty
started.
awesome.
This
Yeah.
is exactly how it started, just like this.
Yeah, just sitting around talking real estate. So I'm excited about tonight. We've got the topic of hard money, which is something we definitely like to talk about each year. Basically, we were just talked about flipping and rehabbing.
Yep.
And one of the next things on that is how do you get the money to fund the deal? And so we're going to talk about that tonight. So if no one's been here before, you guys are joining us online. Tell you guys real quick about what Opportunity is about. So it's about real estate investing strategies, financing options, and implementing those in the Hampton Roads market and beyond. And we like to bring in professionals and just different people that are in the game doing it to tell us about what they're doing and how they're doing it. And then we like to discuss those over some cold beer
Mhm.
and preferably local craft beer if we can.
Yeah.
Which we can do tonight because
It's
we're
as
at
local as it gets.
a local place. So yeah, that's Opportunity. The other part about Opportunity is networking. So the thing about real estate is you've got to be around other people to really do the game. You can't do it by yourself. You need people around you to help you out as you go through it. So Opportunity is a great place to meet people, talk to people that are doing this, and you can help them, they can help you, and we can all be a little bit better. Isn't that nice?
Kumbaya.
So guys, without any further ado, let's raise our glass for a quick toast.
Hey.
May your castle be secure and your cup overflowing.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Boom. Josh, where's your beer?
All right. So it is springtime here, and there's been a lot of changes going on, a lot of new things. Interest rates are obviously raising. I'm sure that's affected everybody in some kind of path that's in real estate. To me, it feels like the market's still kind of cruising in a crazy direction, but it definitely, people are starting to feel the burn a little bit. But it might be a good thing for the market that we're in. I don't know. Be curious what you guys think about that. And the reality is people are still flipping. People are still buying deals. They're still doing stuff. So one thing I've learned about this business is that no matter what's going on around you, people are still making deals happen. And so that's what we're here for. We want to be able to do deals. And right now we're going to talk about hard money. But before we do that, actually, is there anybody doing anything right now? You guys got any cool deals going on, Sean?
Yeah, like let's talk about just either here and online. So like maybe a little brag session. right? So I just got to meet you guys. I know y'all said you just got into it, right? So how about some other guys in the room? What have you done in the past few months since we last got together, or what was a good deal, or like you closed out a really cool refi or something like that? It could be like you helped a client, right, from a refi position, or it could be did a wholesale transaction. Maybe you got an Airbnb, right? We talk about these little brag sessions because this is where people in the room and online can see like we're doing business, right? This isn't talking about pie in the sky shit. This is like it's going down, it's happening, we're doing deals, right? So I can talk about that all day from month to month. So who else here in the room has it?
Right now, I'm in the final stages of getting a historic rehabilitation tax credit from the Commonwealth of Virginia. So this is just a live-in renovation on a home I got about 2 years ago. Just the punch list items, and then hopefully we get that nice $10,000 check from the state. So
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome, man. Good job. Good
How
job.
old did the house have to be to do that deal? Okay, historic district and at least 50 years old. That's awesome.
50 years old in historic district. That's cool.
Cool.
Anybody else have anything they've worked on, or Robert, JP?
Robert, you got a 50-year-old house. I don't know if it's historic district, but 116 years. Yeah, I think you made the mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool. I
Very
actually
cool.
just got my place rented out.
Nice.
And that's a victory in my world right now. Like today, it just got rented. So I've been kind of like tracking with you guys as we went along with that, buying a new place, rehabbing it, and all that stuff. So we just moved in a couple weeks ago, and now we finally rented out the other place. I shouldn't say finally. It just was a normal amount of time.
Process.
Process.
The normal process.
The process. You got to trust the process. Trust the process. So yeah, just rented out that place. So it's the small victories in life.
Cool.
Got that rented out, and now I got some cash flow coming from that. And that's, what the buy and hold game is all about. So on to the next.
Awesome. We had a wholesale deal go down. Actually, we had a crash and burn deal. We had a $40,000 wholesale fee ready to rock. And the buyer crashed and burned at the 11th hour. Hey, man, can't close on it, can't do it. So we had a backup buyer from the attorney that was helping us close the deal and was like, hey, I told him what was
People
going
you
on.
know.
And he said, again, networking, right? This is all networking. He said, hey, I got a guy I'd probably be interested. I showed him at first. He said he wasn't interested. Now he's probably interested. So came back. It wasn't a $40,000 deal, but it was 10, right? So we still made 10 grand on flipping some paper. So not too bad. And that was a JV deal. So each one of us made 5. So solid deal. Wasn't big, but it's money, right? We just got approved on a short sale we've been waiting on for freaking 18 months. So that's going down, and we're making sure to get that going through. So that's one that we're going to do some creative stuff on. That'll be really cool. And then I don't know if you guys remember if we talked about it last time, but Ashley had just bought her first investment property. And I don't know if we talked about it last month, but it was all done creative. The owner took financing back, right? It was like $5 grand down. I think it was like 30 grand. She borrowed from a family member to do some rehab on. Monthly payments are at 2% over 30 years fixed, right? That's like unheard of. Okay. And then I think it's going to cash flow $500 or $600 after everything's all said and done.
Nice.
Yeah, about 500, depending on taxes, insurance, all the little things that come in.
So just
Yeah,
another example,
Ashley.
just another example, guys, of team member. Like Ashley's been with me for 4 years. She started as just an assistant and then just grew and grew and grew. And she said this year she wanted to take on a deal. So we're like, this came in the pipeline, and we're like, you want to take it? And she's like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And we're like, oh shit. And me as the boss being like working with her is just like, I was just beside myself. You know what I mean? Because she's seen all these deals go down and all this happen and all this craziness, and she's going to go get her first deal, right? And it's like, it's part of your team growing, right? That's what it should be. So,
Here's what's cool about that. Ashley, you joined Sean's team not being like a real estate, like
nothing.
No, for context, I have a master's degree in early modern history, specifically like British. So it's super specialized.
You have a good
And then I
accent?
came in into what?
You speak with a nice British accent.
No, I did not pick that up. But yeah, I came in with like no real estate experience at all.
And I can,
And now I'm here, and now I'm talking about doing something else on the commercial side. So
Yeah.
exciting times.
awesome.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, really, really good to hear everybody's goal or what's happened positive, right? And also, I want this to be online and on like here in person. Talk about some negatives too, right? This isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Like shit goes south and it gets hairy real quick, right? And everybody's talking about like, oh, I did this, I did that. And you're like, dude, you got to get some shit to hit you sometime, right? It's not all cool all the time, and that happens. But do you have a team around you, or do you have member like this? Do you have people you can call and be like, bro, I had this happen to me. Can you help me walk me through it? Can you help me? Like I'm just kind of lost, right? Because there's a trust factor there. Are you good friends? You know, somebody's not going to screw you, like can tell you bad information, like that kind of stuff. So I think we've done really well with that as far as this group and keeping it very local to people doing the business. And Josh is local because he's doing business inside of our area, right?
Flipping like that way.
What's it doing? Is it loud?
No, it's when you turn your head.
Oh, so it's over here. Okay. So that's why Josh is here today. And did you want me to keep going, or?
No, it's good.
No, I'm saying as far as like talking and getting Josh up here and get him going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
cool.
talk about Josh.
Awesome. So let's put Josh up on the screen because I can't see us, and I would rather have Josh here. But for those guys that are joining us, this is Josh Benjamin. He is the owner at Homeport Capital. And what was your thing again? El Capitan, or what is it? Turn the mic on, Ashley, so you can hear.
El Presidente.
El Presidente.
Presidente.
So anyway, a little backstory on Josh. He'll tell you himself, but Josh and I met a few years ago. He was actually here in Hampton Roads. He actually came to one of our property walkthroughs, and we had met at Trig. For those that have been to one of those property walkthroughs, we just talk about rehabbing and estimates and that kind of stuff. And then from there, he was just around in the circle, right? Being around part of the group and in that circle of doing business, right? So from there, I think we've done maybe 2 or 3 transactions since that time. And then he's been very busy here and quite a few deals going on. But just a quick story, man. I'll let Josh tell him about Josh, right? But this is who he is, and awesome guy, surfing, living life, young guy, right? And just having a blast. So that's another reason I wanted to bring him in, was because I feel like this is the real thing, right? You get a lot of these guys showing up and saying they're ties and suits, and that shit is just not my world, right? Like it just doesn't. I don't like it. So Josh is more the down to earth and is going to tell you like it is. And if you don't like it, tough shit. That's the way it is, right? So that's the kind of crowd I like to keep myself around. I like to keep it real, very authentic. And if that doesn't work for you, we're probably not going to work out well anyway.
Note to self: don't wear ties around shop.
Yeah, I'm not a tie guy. I'm a suit guy. Like, man, you put me in a suit, I feel like I'm strangling. Like, anyway, take it away, Josh. Tell them everybody about you, and let's kick it off.
All right. Well, hey, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Alex, for the introductions, and thank you for the invite. A little bit about myself, Josh Benjamins. I am the El Presidente of Homeport Capital. I coined that once I moved out back home to San Diego, and I was like, "Yep, we're back in Mexico again. Let's spice it up a little bit." So, background of my company is I was actually home ported there in Norfolk, Virginia Beach area for over 20 plus years while I was active duty Navy. So I just coined my company Homeport Capital. I only bring money that I get from other investors. Currently, I'm in California, so I find a lot of California investors, and I push all the money right back into Hampton Roads. I believe in that area. It's a very military-friendly area. It raised me from young age of 18. Was my first duty station there to, I think I finally left when I was 42. So I actually say I'm from Virginia Beach a lot of times when people ask where I'm from. So I believe in that area. Selfishly, I own a bunch of rental properties there that I've acquired when I was in the military. So I figure the more money I pump into the area, those bad boys just keep on going up also. So, I think tonight we're talking about hard money, which is a passion of mine. I started investing into real estate when I was 23 years old, bought my first house with a VA loan out there in that area. Got stationed in San Diego from there for a couple of years, kept the first one, bought another one in San Diego, and I kind of just kept doing that throughout my career. So that's how I bought all my rental properties that I own now, is primary residence. Moved into them for a few years, moved out, turned them into rentals.
House hopping, people. House hopping.
House hacking, and that's what I did too, right? I bought it, and then I moved. However many rooms I had in that house, I rented out every single one of them to local sailors, guys off my ship, random roommates and stuff like that. Always rented out every room. Even at the old age of 40, I still had roommates. It's kind of funny, but living on a ship with a bunch of dudes, you just get used to it. So from there, once I did that for a while, I was getting out of the military, and I was like, what can I do that allows me to like basically retire and move around and do what I want? I didn't want to go back to W-2 work. I was really searching for something that I could do mobily anywhere. My wife right now, she's a travel nurse. So she, every 3 months, just likes to get up and go and make us move somewhere else to a new nursing travel duty station. And I couldn't have a normal job to follow her around like that. So I decided, a funny story is actually at one of these meetings you guys are sitting at right now. That's where I met kind of my mentor of hard money lending. And I basically followed him around for 8 months, free intern, more or less. And he taught me the ropes. And about 8 months after all that was going on, I said, I think I could break off and do it on my own. So I did, started Homeport, started doing some deals with my own capital. I saved up quite a few coins while I was in the military. I was able to take my TSP after I retired from the military and move it into a self-directed IRA, which is a beautiful thing. If you guys don't know about that, write that down. Self-directed IRAs, they're absolutely amazing. And in my opinion, lending money with your self-directed IRA is probably one of the best ways to actually utilize that capital. From there, I started just funding deals locally, small deals in the Hampton Roads area. I soon ran out of my own capital, so I reached out to other investors and, hey, I got this gig going where I'm pushing money into home flips. We're all secured collateral-wise by the actual deed of trust and the house itself. And people started investing in me, so then we were able to do more deals. Then I moved out to California and met some people with huge amounts of money. And I started using their money to also put into these hard money loans in the Hampton Roads area. So that's kind of the fast forward to today. What is hard money? If you guys don't actually know what hard money is, a lot of people think it's hard money because it's hard to swallow, the pricing that we charge you to use our money. That's kind of what I thought at first. First time I saw hard money fees and pricing and all that. At the time, I think 30-year mortgage was in the low 3s, and now even they're 5s, but still hard money generally costs you about it varies. Every hard money lender is different. So but you're usually going to get charged probably 10%, let's say flat, or maybe 15% APY, which, those sound pretty high compared to what the 30-year mortgage is. The difference is it's hard money because it's hard asset based, not because it's hard to swallow the price. So what we look at when we even want to entertain a deal that you're going to bring to us is, does the asset that you're trying to buy make sense? We don't ask for your credit score. We don't ask for your W-2. We don't ask for your social security number. We don't ask for, in general, if you guys have ever had a 30-year mortgage and went to a bank for a loan, all that paperwork they ask you, we usually don't ask for any of that. We want to know, one big thing is, what is the ARV of that property that you think you're going to buy, put some money into it, and then sell later for a higher price. That is the biggest thing if we'll say yes or no. Again, all hard money lenders are different. One thing that we go by, and I think most of them in general are the same, is ARV multiplied by 65%. So if you guys want to write that down, this is for us only. Some other people say ARV times 70%. And how that works is, let's just say you find a house, which is pretty bread and butter in that Norfolk area, Hampton Roads area, for $200,000 ARV after repair value. When you guys buy this thing, fix it up, and then go to put it on the market, it'll sell for around $200,000, right? That's ARV. What we do is we multiply that $200,000 by 65%. So the max loan we will give you at that time is $130,000 total. That's the max you'll get from us. So what you have to look at your deal is, can you purchase it and rehab it for $130K? Whether you can do 90 purchase, 40K rehab, or 100 purchase, 30K rehab, or 30 purchase, 100K rehab. Whatever measures you want to take, but that's usually how we determine if the deal is even worth taking to the next level. So kind of first day one, when people call me and say, hey, you know, how does it work? Do I got to fill out an application? How do I get a credit line? I just say, bring me a deal that passes the 65% rule, and then we'll go from there. So that's kind of just day one. To see if you even want to call Josh, call Homeport, see if you got a good deal on hand. And the reason why most lenders will do the 65% rule or 70% rule, some of them I've even heard go to 75% rule, is because when you're using our money or hard money, the cost is there. So we don't want you to not make money, right? I always tell all my borrowers, I can't succeed if you don't succeed. You have to be able to finish this project, do this, make money, and then you'll want to do it again, and we'll keep business going. So with that, that's why we keep, or in general, hard money lenders keep 65 to 70% LTV, loan to value of the ARV after repair value. So that's kind of day one. Once you find a deal that makes sense, it falls into that window of 65%. What we do need from you is, though, we'll want to see comps, right? CMA. We want to see that neighborhood justifies $200,000 ARV. Like, you know, we don't care if you're going to put gold toilets in the house. If the neighborhood is not justifying $200K, we all know how single family homes work. It's going to be comped off the local neighborhood, half a mile radius and blah, blah, square footage and stuff like that. So comps is a huge thing we want to see. We want to see probably 3 houses that have recently sold for that ARV price of this house you're looking at, and probably 3 houses that are up for sale. And they all got to be within that range of the ARV that you're saying you'll be able to sell this house for. So that's probably number 2 most important thing. From there, we could determine whether or not we'll say yes or no, right? Also, what's very important is, like I said, the budget. We said we do anywhere from 30 to 40 to whatever K amount of budget. So we're going to want to see your budget. We're going to want to see that you're putting in brand new kitchen, or maybe you're doing an addition, or maybe you're doing whatever. And kind of what we do here is we'll look at your budget, and then we'll look at all those houses that you gave us with the CMA and see that those $200,000 houses, they all had granite countertops. They all had LVP floor. None of them had carpet. They all had recessed lighting. So then what we're going to do is we're going to look at your budget and go, dude, you can't put in, you know, Formica countertops to get a $200K ARV. You can't put carpet in throughout the house to get the ARV of this house that you're showing us that has all, you know, LVP or hardwood floors. So that's kind of what we look at also. So just make sure your budget is the same of finishes and product that's going to go into the house that you plan on doing to match your own CMA that you sent us. So, and then after that, we'll just want to see a ratified contract. This is kind of a sticky point with, I know we got some wholesalers there, but when we see a contract that says you are authorized to buy a house, but yet there's 2, 1, sometimes 2, which I've even seen 3 wholesale contracts in between the original owner to what we're getting on our plate, it tends to start bumping up the wholesale fees to kind of ridiculous amounts. So we just want to see who is who in the pot, how many times has this deal been exchanged, what the wholesale fee is. We've seen them anywhere from 30. I think Sean just mentioned one that was 40K. If it's worth it, we'll do it. But generally, we tend not to cover the wholesale cost. That's on you. It kind of makes you negotiate that with your wholesale buyer. So sorry, Sean, if you're getting pushback nowadays because of me. So yeah, with those 4 items.
That was good.
So
I like that.
with those 4 items, we could generally say, yeah, we're good. How we work from there, just fast forward to all that works out, we're good to go. We will fund the purchase and the rehab for you. All we do is we get your ratified contract. We look at what day you guys want to close on. So say you want to close on the 25th of this month for this house you're talking about. We will send in the amount of money for the purchase price to your closing escrow company, and they'll be sitting there waiting to pay off the old seller, the mortgage person, whoever owned this house before, or whoever had money owed to them. And then what we do is we hold back that rehab budget I was talking about earlier. So let's just say you had a $40K rehab. We actually hold that in escrow, and we make you show proof of work, proof that you did some work to the home before we deploy that out to you. So we all kind of know demos first, day one stuff, probably a roof, dumpsters, a few things like that. And then once you build up a little bit of a cost on your side, you say, hey, Homeport, I spent $8,000 on demo, roof, doing whatever. And then we see the receipts. We go send our guy out there to look at it, make sure you did all that. And then we just reimburse you for that amount of money. And then you just keep moving on. And so basically that's our draw schedule, right? I think,
Hey, Joshua.
Yep.
How long does it generally take you from ratification to close to fund the deal?
So the big sticky point is clear title. That's usually what I am waiting on most of the time, is clear title. We cannot close on a house without clear title. It's just not going to happen. So if you come to me, which this has happened also, I got a call on a Thursday night saying, hey, I got clear title. I got, everything's good to go. I'll shoot you everything you need, all 4 items that I request. The deal was solid. I was able to close the next day on Friday, beat the weekend.
Nice.
So generally, not generally, but now and then on cases like that, I can. Now, if you come to me and say, hey, I got a deal, I haven't cleared title yet, then I just say 24 hours after you clear title, we could close. That also varies. Depends on where you're buying this house. If you're going out there to the let's just say backwoods area, and you're finding people that have, mom used to own the house and they just want to get rid of it, and they got brothers that have, claim to this house, and there's heirs. Well, that title is going to just take a little bit longer, because people have rights to look at that and say, hey, I'm owed money too. If it's just a single owner for the last 30 years and they're just ready to get over with it, and there's probably nothing on title, then it should be quick. So yeah.
Are you guys running your own title, or?
No. I use personally Jenny Cologne. She runs anything for me, but normally the buyer, or the borrower in this case, who's going to borrow the money from us to purchase this house and the rehab it and blah, blah, they pick their own. I always suggest Jenny Cologne, but they are able to pick any of the many title companies in Hampton Roads to clear title.
Okay. One other quick question. And I'm not trying to throw you off, I'm just trying to think of this from the local perspective. If somebody has a deal, they want to put an offer in on it, how long does it take them to get from, hey, I've got this deal, to here's my funds that I can provide to the offer?
Okay, so the big thing is the 65% rule. Again, if you find a house that's $200K and you are going to purchase it for anything and rehab it for anything less than $130, give me a call. Tell me, just send me a message, text message, I don't care what, and say, hey, I got a deal that I think is worth $200, and I'm probably going to be able to buy it and rehab it for $110, $120. Can you please send me a proof of funds so I can put in an offer on it? Boom. I'll send you with that 15 minutes. Let's go. Let's try and take this thing down. Then if you get the offer, I'm going to just say, hey, fill out my deal summary sheet. Give me all the other stuff I request. We'll really, really look at it and see if it's a good deal. Kind of how it works is I always fund deals that I would do myself, because worst case scenario for us hard money lenders is if you don't do it, I have to take the house back and then finish it myself. So that's kind of why I look at your deal as if would I do this deal, just in case that ever comes around where I have to take it back, then I'll do it. If it's a deal that I would never do myself, then why would I fund it? So that's kind of where that comes in also. So yeah, proof of funds deal, we go for it. You put in your offer, you get it. Let's say your offer, you're like, yeah, I'll cash 10-day close, right? Because that's kind of what you do when you do a cash offer, which is what we are. We are your rich uncle. That's your cash offer backup. What you do is say, yeah, 2-week close, 10-day close, whatever. Just be aware of that title clearing. You know, again, that's on you to get that title clear. That is not us. That's on you to push it. That's on you maybe to know a little bit of history of who might be on title or what the liens on this thing are, or tax liens, and all that weird stuff comes up in title. So if it's too good to be true, the guy's like, yeah, it's a $200K house, man, I'll give it to you for $30K. You just got to be leery. You'll learn that in your travels of this industry. So yeah, really quick. Feel free to put those quick offers or those quick closing times on your offers if you want. And did that answer that a little bit?
No, that was perfect. And
Okay.
I do have one more question. This is
Perfect.
probably more for me personally. So you've got the 65% rule. Now, if the buyer says, hey, that's cool, you do your 65% rule, I think it's worth this ARV, but you think it's worth less than that, you'll still potentially lend on the loan, but you're only going to lend to that amount, right? You're only going to lend to that 65 tops.
Yes. Right. So the same example I've been using. If I see your comps and I'm seeing your area are, 200K, and you're like, yeah, but before that, 3 months ago, it was 180K. Before that, it was 160K. So now I'm thinking it'll go up to 220K by the time I'm ready to sell my house in 4 months. Like lately, the market's just been absolutely insane. Everyone's overbidding, everyone's overpricing, and you wanna gamble your money with that. Hey, that's on you. That is totally fine.
Yeah.
We aren't in the gambling game. I only do that out here at the horse tracks. I don't.
If you want to play with your own money,
I don't. Well, especially because I'm putting investors' money into these deals. I don't gamble with other people's money. It's just a no way. I'll gamble with my money sometimes every now and then, but not with investor money. So
see, I only gamble with other people's money. That's my general.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're that
But,
guy. All right.
yeah.
Good. Well, if you could show me you win all the time, I might throw some money.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll let you hop back on. You were talking about getting into the process of the rehab side of things.
Yeah. Okay. So just to go back into that, that's about the finishing up portion of it almost. So as you do work to the house, you send us the bill or send us, that you paid the guy. We'll send you a lien waiver saying, hey, that no liens can go on this thing. Fill that out, request the money. I could get the money in that same day. If it's any of the major banks that you use. If it's not, we could do ACH. Worst case scenario, if you're like, dude, I need the money now because Friday's payroll and I got to pay out these dudes, we could do a wire, stuff like that. So as you go through the draws, you finish up your budget rehab money, which in this case, it was 40K. Then you should be done with the house, right? You should be almost done. Maybe you got to touch up a little things here and there, get it staged, get it on the market. And then once you get it up for sale, we all wait, we cross our fingers, you get an offer over asking, hopefully, and then it sells. How we work, and again, everyone's different. How we work is we get paid in the very, very back end. We don't make you do payments throughout. We don't make you have to worry about paying us. We feel you have to babysit those contractors enough, making sure they show up to work and they're not drinking beer on the site enough. So don't worry about us during this whole time. We take our fee at the very end at closing. So we'll send in the payoff statement of what you owe us for all the money that we dished out to you over this period of time, which in this scenario is 130. If it's 10% of that, then you owe us 13,000. If it's 5% of that, then you owe us 6,500 at the end. And that's how we get paid. And then you get the rest, right? So for this deal, you bought it for 20, sold it for 200. Throw out your expenses on realtor fees, maybe a little PICRA, maybe you have to do some CMA or closing cost assistance, maybe here and there, but you're walking away with, let's say 50K, best case scenario. And you paid us either anywhere from $6,000 to $12,000. And then we do it all over again. If it's successful, if you like doing what you did, if you think it's for you, keep searching for those deals, and you do it again. One quick caveat on that is people are like, well, your money's expensive. Why don't I just use my own? Very fair deal. If you think you can save up $130,000 in the next deal, by the time you find a deal, by all means, go for it. Like, save yourself 10% and do it. That's fine. I'm all for that, do. But nowadays it's hard for people to save up $130,000. Nowadays it's hard for people to save up an emergency fund. And you know, a lot, I don't know the audience yet, but I'm assuming there's maybe some young guys in there that just haven't worked long enough to be able to save that much money. So therefore, this is a way to get you into this business, into investing with very little out of pocket. Worst case scenario, you'd have to put up, say, maybe 5% of the amount that you borrowed up front. So what are you looking at? You're looking at maybe, again, $6,500 up front to be able to buy into this deal. And then you got to pay us in the back end. And then you got to maybe cover $6,000 to $7,000 rehab costs while it goes through. So maybe max ever out of pocket, you're doing $12,000, $13,000. Saving $12,000 to $13,000 up in your bank account so you could do this is very possible, over $130K. So that's why you would do it. Another reason why you would want to do this is, let's say you did save $130,000. Good job. Congratulations. That's top 1% of the population right now. You have $130K, you want to do one house at a time, all good. Go for it. But let's say you get really good at this. This is just your thing. Next thing you know, you're getting recruited to do freaking HGTV. You're doing 5 to 6 a quarter of these things. Now you're going to almost have to come back to using other people's money, because what are you going to save 130 times 5 just to use your own money? Guess what? Every Fortune 500 company in our planet uses other people's money. Apple Computer uses other people's money still to this day. So don't be intimidated by saying, oh, I don't want to borrow money to make money. It is okay. So that's my two kind of big reasons why I would not shy away from using this money. I think that's kind of just this big summary of it all. I'm hopefully I left a lot of open windows in there for you guys to jump in and say, hey, what about this? What about that? I'm not going to go too much into like exactly how much we charge you and what this is, what that's. I'm going to keep everything kind of general, if you don't mind, just because every deal is different, right? There's some guys that borrow from me that are doing 10 deals a quarter. So of course they're going to get a way cheaper price than a guy that's like, hey, I went to this meeting that Sean Bowen and Alex did. I want to borrow your money. All right, dude, you got zero experience. Even though you know those guys,
Run away.
you know, you'll get the beer discount. I'll buy you a beer. But other than that, man, you're going to have to pay to play a little bit, right? I don't know how many of you guys went to college, but just because you were a cool guy, you didn't get college for free. You had to pay to learn. So I kind of think of that too. Like, I think Sean and Alex, they coined it. You don't come to our meetings and we don't hustle you to the back of the room and get 35K out of your pocket to do what we do. I don't do that either. But guess what? You're going to pay a little bit extra because the first few deals we do together, I'm going to have to walk you through a lot. I'm going to have to freshman year you a little bit. You know, I might even have to rush you and what is it? What I'm looking for the word, but
let's hear the rush.
Harass or
There you go.
And,
Pledge.
You know,
Pledge.
yeah, you know, well, you fraternity
Yeah.
dudes know that rush. But anyways,
You
yeah,
have
it's
to
gonna go
ride
through-
your ass.
Yeah, it's we're gonna go through a learning process together. So guess what? You're gonna have to pay a little bit extra for my time and blah blah blah. So that's
He's a
kind of
good
how
one.
that works. But I'm open for questions. I think that's actually the best way to do it. So I just hope I at least got you the process and thinking of why you would even want to use this expensive ass money. Yep.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much, Josh.
All right,
Absolutely.
So let's do this. This is really good info. I'm going to turn this around so you guys.
Yeah, if I could see who I'm talking to, that's even better. And audience also, there is no stupid questions. Believe me, I was a military diver, underwater worker for 20 plus years. Believe me, I was a big dummy. Like I remember going on YouTube and searching, watching real estate investing videos and asking questions that now I would punch myself in the mouth if I ever asked that question. Like, I was like, I can't even believe I thought I didn't know that. So believe me, ask away, ask anything.
And don't punch yourself in the mouth.
And don't punch yourself in the mouth.
All right, who's up first? All right, this is the last one ever.
Hey, I'm Dan. I work with Alex. Just a couple quick questions on this. What's kind of your timeline for getting a rehab done? I've seen them done in a few months, and I've seen them just really drag out. And kind of what do you do when they do drag out like that? You know, your contractor just kind of stops coming to work. How do you handle that, and how do you recommend we handle that?
All right. Yes. So for me, my little caveat to that is I only loan 4-month loans nowadays. I just do, because what I found when I first started this business was, hey man, me and my wife are going to start flipping houses, and yeah, we got full-time jobs, but we go in bigger pockets, man. People are doing this till 2 a.m. and on the weekends, and they're doing great. And I'm like, I'm not your guy. I'm sorry. I like to lend now, at least majority of it, to people that have a crew that go there 6 days a week. They're tested, proven. They know what they're doing. They just want to get this thing done to get on to the next one. So that's kind of like my bread and butter. Screen. If you've never used a contractor before, I would get some seriously good references from these people. This market right now has scraped the bottom of the barrel for people that will show up in their personal truck and say, yeah, man, I got this. I will do. What do you want? New kitchen. I got you. They just say, yes. License and insurance, man. If they don't have license and insurance on their contract that they give you for scope of work, run, especially if it's your first one. You just don't know how many ways they could rip you off. So again, screen, make sure you're using a reputable contractor. Again, if you have to pay extra on your first couple just to get the right guy out there, do it. Kids go to college and spend $80,000 on their freshman year of college to learn what? I don't know. So if you got to pay $5,000 extra for a true, real contractor, please do. Like, you'll learn so much more.
So
big waves coming in again. So yeah, how I handle it. How I handle it is you get big ass late fees if you go past my due date. Like, that's how I handle it. Another
so
thing
your
is
4 month is your go month, basically. That's when you start.
Technically, you need to be done well before 3, because you need to have it completed on the market before the 3rd month, because we all know 30-day escrow, right? When you sell a house, because most of you guys are going to be buying some house that you want to make all pretty for a family to buy it, pay high dollar, top dollar, and then move in. So you're not really shooting for a cash buyer just to come in there and just buy it up from you. So it's going to be a 30-day escrow, because those kind of people want full home inspections. They want the full 30 days to, get all those butterflies out of their pocket and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, for me, you got to have your house done before 3 months to be able to get on the market. So around 2.5 is when I start saying, hey man, when are the stagers coming? What is going on? Are we done yet?
So you're telling me the leverage as a real estate agent is when I'm working with a flipper on the other side, I want to squeeze a little bit. Just stretch it out. That's
yeah. Again, you got it. I mean, I apologize if there's any GCs in the crowd, and I apologize if anybody's a plumber, electrician, a tile guy, a flooring guy in the group. But I'll tell you what, man, those guys, cool as they are, they like to drink on the job and have a good time, and have their own, no boss above them and stuff like that. I mean, that's just the type of guys they are. They want to be. They're chill. They're good. They are going to need a little bit of keeping an eye on. You are going to have to be their boss. So if it's dragging on, you're going to have to undrag them. You're going to have to make sure stuff happens. I actually flipped 3 houses out there alone in Virginia Beach, and one in Portsmouth actually. And I realized that's not the job that I want anymore. I babysat freaking military members for 20 years, and I didn't want to babysit grown men. And those were drug-free military members. Start working with people that just want to paint your house on the weekend. You're dealing with, different scenarios. I just didn't want to do it. So you're going to have to be the angry boss or the angry, owner is what you're going to have to do. Yep. Yep. And be careful. There's a lot of bad ones out there. And the good ones are going to be booked. That's another thing. The good ones will be not available. You'll have to call them up 2 months ahead of time and say, hey man, you're going to have to book them. That's kind of how that is too.
Now, I think both you and Sean can probably answer this. This is something I've kind of seen in the last couple of years for me is the way you retain these guys, and probably why a lot of these flippers are doing so many deals is you got to keep people busy. Is that kind of what you're seeing from most of your guys is, hey, the way I'm keeping them is I got to find another deal, not just for me to make money, but to keep my crew rocking and rolling.
Yes. Yeah. So the guys that are borrowing from me multiple times, how they are running their business is they have one acquisitions guy. So one guy that's, finding wholesalers, has a couple real estate agents. They have a couple people that are just out there searching, driving for dollars, however way possible. They're finding deals where they could go try to get this thing at the lowest price possible. And then they got a guy that's kind of general manager and running the operation sides of the job, hiring and firing like a maniac, just pushing. Maybe he's the guy that's getting the warehouse to buy 1,000 doors instead of 4 at a time to save, 30%. And he's the guy that's got the painters online and scheduling and blah, blah. So that's what I notice is those are the successful guys. They got partners that acquisitions and operations. Huge bonus with that side.
Robert, did you have a question?
Me again. So what you're saying is you need a large company, you need an acquisitions guy, you need a project manager, you need all of this. How do you get into this? Do you have any advice with that? I mean, if, it seems like something Joe Schmo can't do anymore.
Well, I'll tell you what, now that the market is, in my opinion, at a high all-time peak, it's a very hard time to get into it and just be like, oh my God, this is the easiest thing ever. It's very true. It is a different market than it was after the crash, 09, 2010, 2011. These little deals, people were just making 50 to 60K on every single deal. Now, very, very few people are making 50 to 60K on a flip. A lot of guys are like, dude, if we could do 3 a year, 4 a year and make 20K, I'm good with making 60K a year. I'm okay with that. So it's kind of went down. I know guys that used to do this, doing 40 a year. Now they're like, I don't even flip anymore. It's just not worth it. Everyone watches HGTV. Everyone thinks they could do this. Everyone's overbidding everything and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. You could ask Sean maybe, but wholesaling companies are out there hustling, and I'm assuming they are finding less deals than they used to, 2-3 years ago. Just an assumption, but that might be the case. So yes, to get into this, you got to really, really, really want to get into this. Like you just, and again, to your point, you don't have to have a huge company, acquisitions, all that. I'm just saying that it should be a goal in mind for later. Like that's gold medal status. Right now, you're just, hey, I just want to test it out and try it. So yeah, it's one of many ways to invest in real estate, though. It doesn't have to be your only one. So if you want to try it once, my first flip was a small little. I bought it for $68,000 in Portsmouth, Virginia, and I put 30K into it, and I sold it for probably maybe 10K profit. But I'll tell you what, nobody learns as much as you do by doing your own flip and makes 10K ever than that. And it was a small pond to jump into, and I wouldn't be able to drown myself if I wanted to. So again, you could start small. There's plenty of pockets in that 75 cent area that are very small. There's also partners, there are people that have done this already And if you have the capital or you know how to find the deal and they know how to rehab the house because that's what they do, then you link up and you make a deal together, or vice versa, you know? But yeah, again, I think Sean said earlier, networking, huge for this business. You don't reinvent the wheel. All this stuff has been done over and over and over. Don't reinvent the wheel. Like I said, for this business I'm doing now, I followed someone around for 8 months and worked and didn't take one dime from him. Just worked, hustled, followed him, went to every meeting, every deal, did all this paperwork for him. And now I'm running my company out of San Diego, California, on the road all the time. It's amazing. So
After you get out from surfing.
After, I got an Apple Watch now, so I'd make deals while I'm out waiting in between waves. It's awesome.
It's good multitasking. I can't do that. That's
Right up
awesome.
front, what we got
All
up
right.
here for a question?
One more question.
All right. So I know you've said a lot about fix and flip. I was wondering about fix and hold and how the process would be different for that.
Okay, yeah, no, great question. Burr, right? Bigger pockets. They coined Burr, so everyone wants to buy and hold, which is a great idea. I see guys. I've heard someone say, you know, when you flip a house and you complete it, you're unemployed again. Like you're just waiting for your next job to come up. So yeah, I'm telling a lot of my guys who are flipping on houses, why don't you keep one every now and then? You know, keep it, put renters in there, house hack it, Airbnb it. There's so many reasons why you would want to hold a house, which is a great idea. So for us, again, everyone's different, but for us, the big difference is when you say, hey, I want to borrow $130K to buy this house, then, you know, it'll be worth $200K. Then I want to refinance it versus sell it. What I'm going to want from you and on the items up front is who is going to refinance that loan for you, right? Is it going to be Navy Federal Credit Union? Is it going to be First Trust Bank? Who's going to do it? Because what happens is I'm a 4-month guy, right? I say, hey, man, I don't care if you burr it, hold it, sell it, flip it, move your grandma into it. I don't care. I just need to be paid back in 4 months.
Give me my money.
So give me my, we're not, if you're late, dude, we're not friends anymore. And that sucks. I'm in this business to make friends. I'm a friendly guy. But when you're late, we can't be friends. It just gets awkward.
Make me send Debo.
It's like when you have sex with your brother's girlfriend. It's just awkward. Nothing's the same anymore. So anyway, sorry, bad joke. I don't have a brother. So,
All right, come on, man. We're keeping a little PC here. A little PC.
We're live. Damn, PG. Okay. Here, I'll Chris Rock myself. So what you want to do is you want to know who's going to take that loan from me within 4 months. So a big thing right now is most lenders will not let you refinance out on a home that you've owned for less than 6 months. Seasoning, they call it seasoning. Or some of them are now even going to a year. So how awkward would that feel if I say, hey man, 4 months is up. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one. And you go to a lender and go, hey man, I want to refinance the thing. We can't. Like literally, we are not allowed to until 6 months. Now we're not friends. Now I'm flying back out there to harass you and stuff like that. And I can't surf anymore. It's not cool. So that's what I want to see.
Got a new property.
I want to know who's going to refinance you, and I'm going to want to see some sort of letter and some sort of like LOI saying, yeah, if he brings us a home that's nice and pretty up to 200K, we'll be able to cash you out in 4 months. And that's kind of where that's it. That's kind of the big difference between the two. But yeah, you want to hold it? All good. Please do. That's actually a great strategy nowadays.
So I think in short, what you heard is don't use Josh for long-term hold refi because it's not going to work.
No, I mean there's lenders even in Hampton Roads that I could give to you that I know they will cash you out. Now, will they give you cash out refis? Probably not under 6 months. But if you're okay with that, leaving the equity in the home, then that is an option. So that's another thing that I would say. If you don't have one, you're like, oh, I can't find a lender that was going to cash me out in 4 months, then I have those for you. So that's kind of another thing that I could bring to the table for you. Yep.
Cool.
But I don't like to tell you who to use. So I always say, please find your own. And if you can't, I can help you. Same with contractors. I could help you. Lenders, I could help you. A lot of different things that I've seen people use over and over and over, and I know who's good, who's bad, and I will suggest to you all the good ones only. Because again, if you don't succeed, I don't succeed. So I'm never going to give you bad advice ever.
Online.
Yep.
So real quick, do we have anybody online, Ashley or Vanessa, that's writing any questions? Or I don't know if we have an audience there tonight. Typically we do. Okay.
We've had people watching, but no questions have come in from online yet.
Okay.
I've got a question.
No.
Josh,
Yep.
it took me a while to figure out who you were because you grew out your beard significantly since I saw you last.
Yeah.
You were at Opportunity back in the day, back like a long
I think
time
your
ago.
second one ever, if I remember right, or at least your first year that you were doing
In
them.
the
Yeah.
first year, yeah. So did you met one of the hard money lenders, and that's how you kind of got in the hard money side of things?
That's exactly how I did. I met my little mentor at one of your meetings, and that's who I back pocketed for 8 months and learned the good ways to do it and learned some of the bad ways to do it. Let's just say that.
Hey man, hey, we gotta learn. We gotta learn. Hey,
It's always good. You got to know the rules to break the rules, is what they say. So, yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
one thing I'll say for the people online and the people actually here is even from learning from mentors, you learn what not to do, right? And I can say that just like Josh can say is like, even whether it's this mentor or other mentors you've learned from, it's also what not to do that helps you grow as a business owner, right? I know I don't want to do that, or I know I don't want to operate like that because I think it's fucked up or it's just not right or it's shady. Like I followed around an auctioneer for my first year, right? And like in the first 8 months, I was like, this guy's a dick. You know what I mean? He's just doing shady business the whole way around. And I was like, I still want to learn the business, but I just wasn't going to practice what he practiced. So you can learn, you just have to learn when to get out, right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what I think Josh and I can both say is you learn from mentors and you learn information. You just learn what not to do as a benefit.
yeah, and I
right?
think Josh, you said it perfectly. Like, how much money do people spend on college? It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I got into
Yep.
real estate, and I did half sales, half property management, so I could make some money. I learned really quick. I did not like property management. I had great mentors, but I realized like, okay,
Yeah.
this ain't me. So I mean, get in there, dig in. You're gonna learn some stuff. Really, you don't know until you start digging. I think for a lot of this stuff.
And here's the other thing I want you guys to recognize is Josh can say this just as well as being the lender and me borrowing from people and acting as a lender in between. One of the things you're going to realize is those guys are there to protect you just because they want to protect their money as well, right? So like they don't want you to fuck up because they're not going to get their money back plus their interest. Like he said before, they're not going to make money. If they don't make money, why do they want to keep doing this, right? So they're going to protect you. And I think from online to here in person and people watching this replay, I want you guys to remember this. You need to look at and I think the context of hard money versus the word is private money is two different things because you get private money is a little bit cheaper, hard money is a little bit more expensive, and it has not, like Josh said, it has nothing to do with getting the money. It's because it's hard asset lending, right? So if you fuck up, like, yeah, they're going to take it back. Do they want to? No. The goal was just to get done with the project and make money on the money. The loan was the making the money part. So for those that are here and watching this replay, look at lenders as a safety net, right? They're going to protect you. They're going to walk you through this so that you don't screw up. I think my first 3 major deals that I got was new construction. And that was the biggest learning curve ever, right? And that guy was like, you could look at him as like your dad, your mom, like the most protective person ever. Because they were making sure I did everything right. I was following the book. I was doing exactly what they told me to do. And if they didn't, it was a swift kick to the ass. Josh saying he's going to fly out here, you're not going to let him surf. Like, well, that's a massive swift kick to the ass, right? You're encroaching on my personal time. Same thing happened with that lender. He said the same shit, man. He was like, yo, you need to tighten up. You're slowing up the progress. You're not doing what I'm telling you to do. And you're really about to screw this up for yourself. And if you've got $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 on the line, it's your own money or it's family money. And you're about to really screw that up, right? So you need to look at your lenders as they're protecting you. You agree, Josh?
Absolutely. Yep. I think we screen deals, and I honestly believe if we say no to a deal, then yeah, go get a second opinion, but don't chase a deal just because you're bored, just because, well, I just feel it. Like this is all a numbers game. You know, it really is. You have to make the numbers work. Don't go off of the feelings. So yeah, let us do our job. Let us tell you the hard, honest truth. And, you know, deals are like the bus. There'll be another one right behind it. If you miss that one, it's just like that.
Totally agree. It's awesome feedback. What other questions do we have here? JP, anything for you? I know you're ready to head dive into this space. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Josh, man, thank you so much for joining us, man. This is awesome. I'm glad
Yep.
I'm glad you're able to come all the way from California, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'll be out there May 11th for about a week or so, just, you know, checking on the projects, seeing all the guys face to face, letting them know I'm still existing and all that. So I do come out there every now and often, you know, every now and then. I think I even able to pop into your meetings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I definitely enjoy you guys. And one last little thing, I think, you know, like we talked about, try everything. So if you ever want to, this just a side thing that I've kind of started creating was, if you ever want to kind of see the process of how hard money works, or how, you know, the money kind of flows, what we've started doing is we started kind of like a, I don't know if it's a mentor or affiliation or whatever, but it's just a program to where we are starting to bring people, investors, small time investors, money into a deal that then they can be part of the deal. So we got contractors and borrowers out there that are like, dude, if your investors want to come and live the 3D HD TV life and check out the job sites every now and then and see how it works, see the sequence of events for it, we are now allowing people to invest with us. And then this way you get to see if flipping houses is even your thing. You know, you'll get to see what these guys go through. You'll get to go to the sites and you'll get to
Nice.
learn. And it's almost like a mentorship program that you put money into, and you actually make money at the back end because you invested your money into your own community. You know, one of the big things our selling point is, we always ask people, like, what is your money doing for you? It's going to Apple Computer. It's going to freaking Elon Musk. Why would you not put your own money into your own community, into the houses in your neighborhood, into the electricians that are working in your neighborhood, to the people? You know, 90% of our houses that get borrowed on from us go to the military members through the VA loans and stuff like that. So again, military member, I'm super huge on that. I believe in helping our war fighters. Another huge thing is, like, foreigners are coming to our land and buying up our houses over and over and over. The day we stop buying our own land and our own homes is the day we lose the war. You know, like, I mean, that's just going to happen eventually. So buy our land, put your money into our community, help the ugly house in your neighborhood become the best house in the neighborhood via all this. And so that's just something we're starting to do a little bit, is allow people to get exposure into this. Another thing is, become the bank. Man, once you become the bank, you go to any downtown, Chase, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. They all got the highest, prettiest buildings in every downtown possible. That's what you got to do. You got to learn how to be a bank. So again, right, that's kind of the narrative. You go to school, you go to college, you get a high-paying job, you work till you're 65, you have a whole $1 million in the bank account, and then you just sit back and live off of that. Well, that's becoming a bank, right? You're living off of money. So why not learn now how to make your money make money for you, so you don't have to wait till you're 65. So that's kind of the end thing of how we roll. So learn how to be a bank, and plus this is a job where you can do anywhere. Like I said, I've been on my Apple Watch doing a deal once, freaking from surfing. Like, this is a great job to do, or a side hustle. You know, it could be a side hustle too. But awesome, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate that. You guys are always cool hanging out with. And real quick, if anybody wants, send me a text or a email. But my phone number, if you guys want to write it down, I'm good with the text messages. 619 San Diego 931 9752. And then email is just homeportcapital@gmail.com. But absolutely, man, I love talking deals. I love coaching people this stuff. I love meeting in person when I'm out there. So keep in touch, ask me anything, and let's all grow together.
Awesome. Well, Josh, man, we're gonna post that up on our Facebook page.
Awesome.
Get your contact information out there. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming out, joining us. Thanks for joining us in the past. It's awesome to see you doing so well and just living your life, man. Excited for you, and I think this was really helpful for our community. So we're gonna finish it up, and thanks again.
Thank you. I can grab that beer now.
Take it easy, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys. I really appreciate it. All right. So for those guys that are hanging out here, let's chit chat and hang out online.
Yeah,
if
because
Vanessa-
they close in 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, we're still live.
Yep. So we're
Yeah,
gonna.
I mean,
You want to
okay.
turn that camera?
thanks, guys. We're headed out. Thanks for watching. Bye.